Are you ready to be different? The father of the faithful is called Abraham, our father. In fact, he's the father of all the major religions on earth. And Abraham was different. It says of him in Hebrews 11:10, for he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Abraham was looking for things nobody else had seen. Abraham was living his life differently. What are you looking for in life? You're going to have to live differently and look for different things if you're going to make a difference. You know, you're going to find really what you're looking for. You might have heard the story of the barnyard animals. And the cat decided she was going to go visit the queen's palace. And all the barnyard animals said, now make sure you take careful note of everything so you can bring us a good report. And the horse said to the cat, make sure you notice the stallions that pull the carriage of the queen. And the dog said to the cat, make sure you notice the giant mastiffs that guard the palace grounds. And the peacock said, make sure you notice the beautiful silken tapestries. I want to report on that. And they all had their different requests of the cat. And the kitty cat finally made the journey and came back. And the barnyard animals were so excited they gathered around. They wanted to hear the report. And the horse said, so tell me about the stallions. And the cat said, well, I didn't really notice the stallions. And the dog said, well, tell me about the guard mastiffs. And said, well, I didn't really notice the guard dogs. And the peacock said, well, tell me about the beautiful tapestries. And the kitty cat said, I didn't really notice the tapestries. And they said, well, did you go or not? Yes, I did. Well, did you see anything or not? Yes. Well, what did you see? And the kitty cat said, I saw a mouse sitting under the queen's throne. And that mouse so captivated the kitty cat, it was oblivious to everything else. Listen, there are going to be mouses in your life that are going to try to captivate your attention, your focus, your determination, your purpose. You've got to predetermine, what am I getting out of this life? You've got to live life on purpose. Amen. Now, there are two words that are very similar. The word reactive and the word creative. Look at these two words. The only difference between these two words is that you see differently. What are you seeing? You've got to see things nobody else sees. You've got to think things nobody else thinks. You've got to be different. You've got to be uncommon. Anybody here ready to be different? You ready to be uncommon? We just had a great heavyweight champion boxer of the world die within the last few days. And noteworthy about his career is that in his very first boxing match, professional boxing match, he was knocked down 3 times, flat on his back, in the first round. And in the second round, he was knocked down 3 times again, flat on his back. And in the third round, he was knocked down again 3 times, flat on his back. And finally, between rounds 3 and 4, his trainer got on the corner. He said, now, Joe, we got to do something different here. We're getting hammered. And he said, I've got an idea. He said, the next time you get knocked down, you need to not jump up on your feet so quick. You lay there a little while. In fact, the referee has to count all the way to 10 before you're out of the fight. So you lay there till he gets about 8. They count real slow anyway. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. You wait till he gets to about 8, then you bounce back up on your feet. And Joe looked at his trainer and he said, I can't do that, coach. He said, why not? He said, because if I lay there that long, I'll be giving that other guy a rest. You figure out the rest of the story. He went on to win the fight and become a heavyweight champion of the world. You see, winners have an uncommon perspective. They see things differently than anybody else. You've got to be willing to see things differently than others that are around you. Difference makers. If you want to make a difference, you've got to be different. How many of you here today are truly willing to be different in order to make a difference? Amen. In your world and for God and His kingdom? To be different. Difference makers see differently, they think differently, and and they do differently. In fact, let me tell you the first thing you need to start doing differently. You need to change your vocabulary. You need to quit talking like everybody else talks. You need a new vocabulary. Winners always talk differently. They have a different vocabulary. We have examples in the Old and the New Testament of this. In the Old Testament, the children of God, the children of Israel, had just won a great battle. But God said, don't let any of the enemy escape. And the enemy were disguising themselves like Israel's soldiers and trying to sneak back across the river to get to their families and their homes.